What's going on, guys? This is Card Warriors Magic. Me and Luke are both here today, and we're going to be showing our deck collections that we have. I just can't wait to show you guys all the decks that we have. We have quite a bit to show you. He has 30 decks, right? Mm-hmm. And I have 38 myself. We do have more than this, but we're just going to be showing our good quality Magic decks. I'd say total we probably have about 100. But yeah, so we're just going to be showing our good quality Magic decks, and then at the end we'll tell you what decks are our favorite and so on. But we're going to be started off with our Theory 11 decks that we have. This is the Ivory Tycoons deck. I own this one by Theory 11. I'll just really quick show you this one. It has a very cool box, creamy colored box, white.
Creamy.
And this deck handles amazingly. It is, again, the Ivory Tycoons. It's a standard deck. It is entirely custom, though. Pips, royalty, and all that is custom. So I recommend you guys get this deck. Okay, and Luke is now going to be showing his Red Monarchs.
Okay, so this deck is exactly the same in design as the blue Monarchs, except it's red, of course. This deck handles really nicely. It does wear in pretty well. I love the nice darker red colors. But overall, this deck is amazing, and I would definitely recommend you get it. Next up is the blue Monarchs.
Yeah, so I have the same deck as Luke, except that it is blue. As you just saw, he has this one in the red version, and I would highly recommend this. If you guys haven't heard of the Monarchs before, you will hear of it soon, because it is probably the most well-known deck for Magic. It shuffles amazingly, and it definitely deserves all the fame it has. So I would highly recommend you get either the red, blue, green, or any of the other versions they've made, because they've made a lot. Next up, Luke will be showing his Contrabands deck.
So, guys, I've actually got two Contrabands. One of them is actually not complete that I use for Magic, and this one is not 100% complete, but it's almost there. But these decks feel really good. J-Dog as well has one, as you can see right there. But this deck handles really nicely. It's all custom. Everything is custom in this deck. And the royalty is absolutely amazing, guys. So definitely get this deck on theory11.com.
So next up we have the Medallions deck by Theory 11. Now, this is probably one of both of our favorite decks by them. Yep, Luke has one as well. And the back design is absolutely stunning. It has a bronze sort of shiny color, as well as the box. Just a tip, Theory 11 probably makes the most fancy and best quality boxes out of the brands. But this deck handles amazingly, and it is entirely custom, as well as most of their other decks happen to be. Pips and royalty and aces are custom, jokers and all that. So I would definitely recommend picking up the Medallions deck, and Luke will be showing deck 1 next.
So, deck 1 has a little bit of variation. J-Dog's deck 1, for some reason, is quite different than mine. As you can see, they're a very darker shade. His feel a little bit stiffer than mine for some reason, but I'll tell you something funny here. When I ordered this deck, I actually got 2 of them. I guess there was something wrong in like manufacturing or something, but anyhow, these decks do feel amazing, but like I said, you gotta be careful with the variation in the cards. The cards are not custom 100%, but they do have like different coloration, and the red is a little bit darker. And then I'll show you the Ace of Spades, which looks pretty cool. This is the Ace of Spades. So that's the deck 1.
So next up, I have, Luke has neither of these, but these are the Artisan decks.
I want them!
He does want them. These are the Artisan decks by Theory 11, and I'm just going to tell you guys, this is either my favorite or my second favorite deck by them. These are absolutely amazing. The boxes are absolutely stunning, and the back design is crazy cool as well.
He likes these.
I do, in case you guys haven't noticed. The whites and the blacks are very similar, except the whites are colored slightly differently. I'll show you those in just a second. But it is standard bicycle, pips, and royalty. They've just colored it differently. And, yeah, yep. So that's the black one, and then the white one right here. Very cool box, practically the same, except the coloring is different. The royalty is colored slightly darker, and practically everything is the same on both decks, but these decks feel absolutely amazing right out of the box. That was a terrible shuffle, guys. I'm so sorry. Right out of the box, they feel just like new. Okay, that was much better. But I would highly recommend getting either of these decks. The white and the black Artisans is what they've made so far.
Okay, guys, so...
No, we have more Theory 11 decks left. Okay. Sorry, guys. Luke was a little jealous because he doesn't have as many Theory 11 decks as me. So I am going to go ahead and show you the rest of my Theory 11 decks that he has so rudely skipped. So right here, I have the Nomads deck by Theory 11. Very stunning box, and inside is this really cool foily design going on. This deck is very intricate, what they did with it. It looks kind of like sketched out. It's kind of similar to the Monarchs with the border that's going on, but I would highly recommend it. It is not custom royalty or anything, but the back design is the main reason I love this deck, and it is a custom Ace of Spades that looks really cool as well. So that is that Nomads deck, which feels amazing. Any Theory 11 deck feels amazing because they are a Magician card company, so they make really high quality card decks. They are expensive, but they're worth it, guys. I have another Theory 11 deck that Luke does not have. It is the Steampunk. I've had this deck for a while. It's actually fairly cheap, but they put a lot of work into it for a cheap deck. It feels pretty good. Not the best feel, but it feels really good, and it's worn in even better. I've had this one for almost a year now, and it still feels really good. So that's the Steampunk deck, which is not a custom deck either. They've just colored the royalty. You have that. And then last of all, my last Theory 11 decks are the Theory 11 Riderback versions. I have the blue and the red, and these decks are both really cool. If you see the standard bicycle deck, it's colored a lot more darkly. This red has a like sort of purplish tint to it, and they've colored the red darker and colored the royalty. Yeah, I'll just show you really quick the contrast between these two. So the red versus this red is really cool. I'll just go ahead and show you guys that. You can see that it's a lot darker, and they also put a lot of, it's like shiny metallic sort of ink. That's what they did with it. That's why it's called Titanium Edition, reflecting that metal. And that's the red version, but my favorite out of the two of the Theory 11 Titanium Edition Riderback decks, long title, would be the silver blue one. I believe they call it titanium blue or something, steel blue, but they gave it an absolutely amazing coloring to show you the contrast to it, whereas this is kind of flat. You can see that this one just pops at you and is more silvery than the other blue ones, and they both feel a lot better than the standard Riderback deck, which is why they're amazing. So those are the Theory 11 decks that Luke was so hasty to get out of because he doesn't have as many as me.
I want the Titanium Edition so bad.
But those were the Titanium Edition Riderback. Go pick them up on their website or Amazon. Those are amazing. And now Luke will show the mint decks by 52 cards.
Okay, so I have two black mints here. I'll start off with the black mint here. One of them got signed by Stephen Brundage. I don't know if you can see the signature. He wrote it in black. But I have two of them. This one was given to me by J-Dog, and this one I bought. So these decks are completely 100% custom. They have more fancier pips, and they're not exactly the traditional bicycle style, which I really like because this deck is extremely fancy. But the Ace of Spades is indeed custom. Let me go ahead and show it to you guys, because this Ace of Spades is pretty sick. So here's the Ace of Spades. They have this like black spade with a black border on it. And yeah, overall, guys, this deck is pretty amazing. Now, J-Dog is going to show you the Raspberry Mint with his black mints.
So I do as well have a black mint, just similar to Luke's. The one thing I will warn you guys about, the box quality is not very good. The box itself looks really cool, but it's very susceptible to getting bent because it's not a thick cardboard. And then I have 2 Raspberry Mint decks as well. But I'm going to go ahead and show you this one right here. So the Raspberry Mint feels very similar to the black, except that they just used a different stock. Other than that, it's the exact same. The black mint uses, what do you call it?
Casino?
Casino stock, yes. The black mint uses casino quality card stock, and this one uses crushed bicycle card stock. Both really fancy decks, and they do have a marking system. So I would highly recommend any of these. These are fully custom. And Luke is going to go ahead and show you the Illusionist decks that we have. But last of all, 52 Cards has only made these decks so far. We really hope that they'll make more in the future, different kinds. But they are a great, great company for cards. This is their first deck, and they did a great job with it. So now Luke's going to show you Illusionist.
Okay guys, so the first deck I'm going to be starting off on is the Carpe Noctem deck. This deck is absolutely amazing. It's the newest addition to my collection of cards. The deck itself just feels and handles really nicely. Unfortunately, the borders are really thick, so a fan isn't exactly gorgeous, but they have replaced the red with a very light red, so it's more pink than anything, but it kind of fits the flower theme, and I'll just show you the Ace of Spades here. It looks pretty awesome. This deck itself handles very nicely, and would definitely recommend it. And here's just a quick view of the box. And it also has its embossed Chris Ramsey's logo, and everything on this box is embossed. Next up, J-Dog is going to be showing you the Killer Bees, which I also own.
Oh guys, by the way, I do not have the Carpe Noctem deck, so if you would like to donate money so I can get that, I would really appreciate it.
that would be really nice, especially so I can get the Nomads.
Yeah, please, we want more decks. No, but, so yeah, this is the Killer Bee deck, which is honestly so cool. The box is amazing. Sadly, it did use the same sort of stock for the box that the Mint decks used, as you can see right there. So it's not a great quality box, but it looks super cool. And then this is the Killer Bees deck. It's entirely custom, but they gave it a really cool sort of honeycomb sort of design going throughout. I'm not kidding you, we both love this deck so much. It's just absolutely amazing, so I would highly recommend picking this deck up.
Okay guys, so next I'm going to be showing you this Kings deck, but you want to see something cool? The box is black, but the cards are red. No guys, I actually don't know where my Red Kings box is, so I will be showing you the Red Kings deck. This deck is really amazing. I'm just going to go ahead and show you all the Kings decks while I'm at it. Here is the gold and here is the black. I know the boxes are all awry, but this black box, this black Kings deck, unfortunately got really bent up because some guests came over and completely destroyed it. But all the cards are the same in this deck. I'll just show you the different back designs. And the Ace of Spades, there's the Ace of Spades. But these decks are really awesome. The red feel the best, the black feel horrible, and the gold are kind of like the in-between middle. So let me go ahead and show you the gold. These are marked. I think they spent the most time on these ones. These ones actually don't feel that bad, but you know, I personally like the red a little bit more. But the gold do feel very amazing. So next up, J-Dog will be showing you some more Illusionist decks.
So next up we have the Knights deck. Now this is probably me and Luke's favorite deck by them. Would you agree?
Yes.
I have one, he has two. He has more Illusionist decks than me. But this deck is amazing. Not a huge fan of the box, but when you open it, it has this amazing foily design going on inside. And then the royalty is custom throughout some of the deck. Some of it is not custom, as you can see a standard bike here, but they did customize some of the kings and I think one of the jacks. But the main thing that we like about this deck is how for the hearts they made it gold, and the back design is amazing. This deck feels great. I would highly recommend it. They just came out with it recently, right, Luke?
Yep.
So I would definitely recommend getting it. So yeah, that's the Knights deck.
Also, those cards are marked. Yes. Next up, we have the Artifice. The Artifice Tundra, to be more specific. This is probably my favorite in the series. I do not have the other Artifice decks, only the Tundra. But this deck feels probably like one of my best decks. It feels amazing. The back design is pretty cool. It's quote borderless, but the whole entire card's white, so it doesn't really matter. But the annoying thing is the Red cards are still black. They only changed the pip up top. But the cards are completely custom. Every single royalty is custom. And let me go ahead and show you this Ace of Spades, though, because this Ace of Spades is pretty stunning. That Ace of Spades just looks really awesome right there. And guys, if you didn't know what artifice means, it means to fool someone. So, yeah. Next up, J-Dog's going to show you the Madison Rounders.
So these are both the Madison Rounders decks. Luke has the black version. I have the brown and black. I'm just going to let you guys know these decks are super amazing. The brown ones, in my opinion, feel a little bit better. I don't know if that's just a quality difference. But any of these decks are amazing. Thank you. It has a pretty cool Ace of Spades as well. I'll show you that. And these decks do have a fully custom royalty by Madison, who designed the decks. So that's the Ace of Spades. The black one is practically the same, except that the back design is black. So you have those decks right there, and the boxes for these decks are fairly simplistic, but these decks feel absolutely amazing. So I would highly recommend picking one up. One sec, I'm just going to close this, and then Luke is going to show the Madison Dealers. Yes.
Okay, guys, so the Madison Dealers, this deck feels pretty nice, but J-Dog's opinion is that his feel nicer.
You agree.
Yes, I do, unfortunately, but this deck is still pretty amazing. I personally really like the design. So, you know, this is the bordered version. I like bordered cards much better, but they do have a borderless version, which J-Dog will show. The Ace of Spades is pretty cool. It's kind of a little bit more of a standard, but kind of fancy ace. So guys, the royalty in this deck is the same as the Rounders, but it's still a pretty amazing deck nonetheless.
Okay guys, so again, this is the Madison Dealers, but this is the green borderless version. So it's a little bit weird. Luke's deck out of the box felt pretty terrible. Yeah. To be honest with you, it has worn in and gotten better since, but this deck feels like butter. Like, I'm not kidding you. This is probably the best feeling deck I have, and I like the design. I believe it's marked. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Both the dealers are marked.
So these are marked. They do have a couple of reveals. Madison does Joker reveals and stuff. So if you get a deck by Madison, you'll have some reveals and gimmicks in that deck. But this deck does feel better than the Madison borderless dealers. We don't know if that's just border dealers. We don't know if that's just something that happened in the manufacturing or if they made it like that on purpose. But I would definitely recommend getting either of these because these are both super great decks. And Luke, are you out of Illusionist decks?
Yes.
Okay, so we have finished up Illusionist decks, and Luke is going to show you his... Wait, I'm not out of Illusionist decks.
What?
Okay,
Psych.
I have an Illusionist deck or two to show you. I have the Ignite and Fathom decks. These were both made in a series. Luke just has a couple more duplicates in his Illusionist Knights decks. Yes. But this is the Ignite deck. It is borderless, which kind of stinks, but I really love the realistic back design. Luke doesn't. But it is a custom royalty, custom pips. This is a fully custom deck, which feels amazing as well. Any Illusionist or Ethereal 11 deck, you can be guaranteed that you're going to get a good deck, except for that mishap with the Black Kings. We don't know what happened with that.
That was pretty crap.
And then the Fathom, I like the Fathom slightly more than the Ignite, but they're both amazing. The Fathom is also stunning, feels amazing as well. And we would highly recommend either of these. Luke did have the Fathom deck, but sadly it died.
It died.
He spilled milk on it.
You can't revive a deck that has gotten milk spilled on it.
So those are the Fathom and Ignite deck, and I have a couple more decks to show that Luke does not have because I have 38 and he has 30. So I'm going to go ahead and show these. These are the Magna Carta decks. These are made by Seasons Playing Cards. Most people actually don't know about Seasons Playing Cards, but their decks are crazy good nonetheless. These are the only decks I have by them, but they're amazing. The boxes are really cool. Very cool gold copperish thing, and then the Magna Carta is written on the inside of the box. This is the black version, and the white version, unlike most decks you'll see where the white version is just a different coloration, they do have different designs but the same royalty. So the black has really cool royalty just right there, and then it does have all custom aces that are honestly really stunning. You can see those right there. I like the black version a little less than the white. The white one's slightly cooler, and I'll show you that right now. But the back design is very fancy and elegant, and these decks feel super good. I believe they use Aristocrat cardstock through these decks, so in case you guys have those decks, that will be what this feels like. Then we have the white Magna Carta, which I like slightly more, but either deck is good, and this one, same practically. It does have a Joker reveal, which the other one doesn't, but same aces, royalty, and all that, and these decks feel amazing, like I said. So be sure to get those decks on Seasons Playing Cards, or on Amazon you can get them, but they are slightly more expensive because they put a lot of work into these. And next I will show you the Bolo-Rama decks. I actually won these in a contest by Magic Orthodoxy, which was really fun. You guys should definitely go check out his channel. He does some really cool deck reviews and stuff. But these are the Bolo-Rama decks. They are pretty good. Not my favorite, but they feel pretty good, and the design is, if you guys like bowling, you'll like this deck.
Yeah.
So they've completely customized it. This is made by Midnight Cards. Ace of Spades is pretty cool. And it's a custom deck, custom royalty, and all that. It's just fun, and then it has these really cheesy puns throughout. Don't ask me why. Just on text it says, like, look at this, guacamole, guacamole. So you have that, and then the black version. I also won a glow in the dark version, but it's not that great. These ones are the best out of them. I like the green one slightly more than the red one. But these decks are pretty cool. Luke can't get over that pun. So those are the Bolo-Rama decks made by Midnight Playing Cards through Legends Playing Cards. So those are those. And then I have the two Tally-Ho decks.
Oh, so many decks.
The Tally-Ho decks, honestly, me and Luke both agree. These are crazy good decks, and they're actually fairly cheap. They're just standard bicycle, royalty, and pips, but custom ace, as you can see right there, and some custom jokers. But the back design is very cool, and these use a really good card stock. I think it's called Tally-Ho stock, isn't it?
Maybe, I don't know.
I'm not sure. But these, just a really good stock for a fairly cheap deck. I think you can get 2 for like $8, is that right? Mm-hmm. So there's the red, which looks very cool as well. Both of these decks I actually bought on Theory 11's website, but they're both really good decks, and I would recommend either. And then Luke is glad that that was over because he wants to show some decks now, and he is going to show the Bicycle Elemental Earth deck.
So guys, there has been a review on most of these decks, just so you know.
No. We have a lot more reviews coming.
Yes, there will be a lot more reviews coming, but on a lot of these decks we do have reviews, so definitely check out our playlist on our channel. But anyhow, I'll be showing you the Bicycle Earth deck. This deck is pretty cool. The back design is really nice, and it has a nice thin border, which is always nice for Magic. Borderless decks, when you do a double lift, is a little bit annoying. But anyhow, this deck is almost completely custom. The royalty is kind of custom. It's kind of halfway there. It's the same as Bicycle, but just different coloring, and the pips are a little bit different. The Ace of Spades looks really awesome, and I like how on some Ace of Spades they have like text beneath it. Like one deck said "Made in China." Never use that deck again. But this deck just has the nice plain Ace of Spades, which I personally like. And yeah. So next, J-Dog is going to be showing you the Elemental Fire deck.
So this deck is practically the same as the Elemental Earth, except it's fire. So the same design, except it has red and yellow tones, which look very cool. And the same, and this Ace of Spades, guys, is so cool looking. Check that out. But yeah, so this is a really great deck. It does not feel the best, but it's still a Magician's deck, so it will feel better than your standard deck. We both really like these, and Luke is now going to be showing his Starlight Black Hole deck. Okay.
So the Starlight Black Hole. I have had this deck for a very long time, and it is probably one of my favorite decks. It is borderless, but you know, the design kind of compensates for that. But this deck is completely 100% custom. Well, actually, the royalty isn't custom, but it's like, you know, very glowy, and it almost looks custom to me. But the Ace of Spades in this, all the aces in this deck just look absolutely stunning, so I gotta show you the Ace of Spades here. Oh look, I have all 4 aces together. Wow, how about that? So here are all the aces. They look just absolutely stunning. So, yeah, so next, J-Dog is going to show you all his Starlights. So, yeah, take it away.
So, Luke also has the Starlight,
Standard,
correct. But, any of these decks are good. I think, which deck of the Starlights do you like the most?
Black Hole, baby.
Black Hole. I like the Lunar the most, but any of these decks are great. They are custom. This one has more of a moon feel to it because it's lunar, and the aces are really, really cool. All these decks are borderless. They are designed by collectible playing cards, as well as we forgot to mention that the elemental decks are as well designed by collectible playing cards. These decks feel absolutely great. We both agree. They don't really have a feel similar to other decks, but they feel really, really good. And then next you have the Starlight Shooting Star, which I got first. This one looks really cool as well, and custom pips as well. And then you have last of all the Starlight Standard deck, which looks like tie-dye exploded, which is kind of cool. But you have that. The one thing we don't like about this is that everything is green. All the pips are green.
Makes no sense.
I don't know why they did that, but it would have been a really awesome deck if they hadn't done that. But it's still a great deck. I would recommend you get it. Anyway, next up, Luke is going to show you the Bicycle Platinum deck. Now, this deck is amazing.
Oh, yes. It feels so good. It is extremely slippery, though. I remember I was doing Don't Blink with this deck, and I, had to
You guys love that trick.
It has, almost 300 views now. But I had to re-record that video, 3 times because it is a little bit annoying on the corners here. They have, this, weird, red thingy, so if I try and sandwich a card...
I have a platinum as well.
Yes, he does. If I try and, sandwich a card and stuff, just a tiny bit peeks out, you can see it, so it's kind of annoying like that. But I do really like this deck, indeed. It feels very nice. So, yeah, next up, J-Dog's going to show you the Steel deck.
Okay, so this deck, probably both of our favorite custom deck ever.
Ooh, spicy!
You can only get this on eBay now because it's no longer produced, but it's amazing. I did have the maker sign it, and spicy. Sorry. But the back design is crazy cool. This deck is amazing because it can be used for Magic. It does have a border on the front and back, and custom pips and all that. You have the aces. I'll just show you these really quick. The aces are so cool on this deck. And Ace of Spades is both of our favorites that we've ever seen. And this deck, it's not the best feeling deck ever, probably because they put so much detail into it, but it feels pretty good. So I would highly recommend you get this. Luke has a Steel deck as well. And now Luke is going to be showing...
Mine's not signed. Boo-hoo.
Now Luke is going to be showing his Dragon backs, which I do not have.
Yes, he does not.
Except for this one.
Yeah, well, that's the gold one. You don't have any of these ones. Okay, anyhow, these decks are...
Blue.
What?
It's the blue.
I don't know, I can't find it. But I used to have every single dragon back, but for some reason, the gold and the blue just disappeared from my collection. So, anyhow, yeah, here's the gold. I'll show the gold, I guess. Well, he can't, whatever, I don't care. All these decks feel different because, well, I'll actually show you the red and the blue, and the gold, I think, yeah, and the gold were designed by Bicycle. But these two suckers right here, they were designed by playingcards.net by Gambler's Warehouse.
But they all use Riderback cardstock.
Yes, except these ones feel a little bit stiffer than these ones for some reason. I don't know if that's another manufacturing error. Wow, they really like giving us crappy manufacturing errors, don't they? Anyhow, this deck here feels really nice. I've used it a ton. You will love these decks. I personally really like the green as well. For some reason, my yellow doesn't exactly function very well. But the green feels really nice. It's pretty stiff, though. It's kind of weird. But it still feels great. And then lastly, the yellow, which the royalty on all of them are just standard, except they're just colored differently. So yeah, and then just standard ace of spades. There's nothing different. There's nothing different about that one. And do you mind if I show the gold?
In a second.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, yeah, go ahead and show the gold, sorry.
Okay. Confusion. Okay. Anyhow, the gold is practically just bicycle standard, except the red is a little bit darker and it's not that cheesy red. Thank goodness.
I will warn you guys, it takes a long time to wear these in.
Yeah, it's pretty stiff even though we've used this a lot. So
I've had it for about a year and it's still pretty stiff.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Okay, next up are the bicycle rider backs.
So these are just, I showed you slightly these earlier, but I'll just show you these really quick again. These are the rider backs. Now, this is probably this. People use this all the time for Magic. This is what people will perform with. I do recommend these. They are really great decks. Most of the decks that we have feel better than these, but these are great decks, and they're just bicycle standard. If you have a standard deck, it's exactly the same as that, except that it has a different rider back stock, as it's called, and then this is the blue. So we have that right there. And then Luke is now going to be showing the gold bicycle deck. Oh, I forgot to mention, guys, the steel deck is made by the Carditions. This one right here, it's made by the Carditions, who no longer produce, sadly. And then the platinum and the gold that he's about to show is made by Elite Playing Cards. So those are two great brands.
Yes, indeed. But guys, this is my last card deck. No.
I have one as well.
Yeah, I gave that to you. Haha. But anyhow, I'll show you, this deck is really amazing, but it's kind of also got like two borders in it, so like when I spread the deck to look for a card, the border is really thick, so you have to really spread cards to find the card you're looking for. But this deck's back design is pretty cool. This feels a lot like a looser version of the Platinum, but this deck is extremely loose and it feels really good for Magic. It's really fancy. Some people don't really understand like the pips and stuff. But let me go ahead and show you the Ace of Spades, if I can find it.
Oh yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, oh, actually I've got all the aces together. I was comparing aces the other day, that's why they're all together. So here are all the aces, they all look pretty sick. Thank goodness it doesn't say made in China. But anyhow, J-Dog will be showing you his last deck as well, the grid deck.
Okay, so right here is the grid deck. It's so amazing. It is a little more expensive. It's like $17 for it now. And it was a limited edition, so you guys should pick it up before it runs out. But this deck is so cool. Stunning back design, all custom pips and all that you have. I'll just show you all the aces really quick. They're so, so cool.
He likes this deck.
This deck, yeah, it's so cool. And fun tip, it does come with a blank card, a double backer. It is a deck made for Magic. It uses casino stock, so it's going to feel very similar to the mint deck, if you guys happen to have that, the black mint. And it also glows under a UV light. It changes color slightly under a UV light, so that's really cool.
I just want to say one thing really quickly. The Carpe Noctem deck, there's only a limited edition of these as well as the grid deck. So pick these
don't
up.
buy it so we can get it. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, whatever.
Go ahead and buy it, guys.
Buy it, because they're about, on Amazon, they're going out of stock pretty soon, and on Illusionist, they're out of stock already. So get these decks before they run out.
Okay, so next, what me and Luke are going to do really quick, we're going to show, I'm going to go ahead and show all of my decks first, take them out. Luke's going to show all of his, and what we want you guys to do is in the comments, tell us whose deck collection you like the most, and then last of all, we'll show you our favorite decks out of all of them. So I'll go ahead first.
Oh, and also comment whether or not you like Illusionist or Theory 11 better.
I like Theory 11 better personally, but Luke likes Illusionist better, right? Illusionist rules! But don't get me wrong, guys. They're both amazing decks. They both make amazing quality decks. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the decks that I have. I have the Theory 11 Riderback, Theory 11 Riderback, Red Riderback, Contrabands. I have the Red Mints, the Black Mints. Let me scoot that over. The Blue Monarchs, Brown Rounders, Green Borderless Madison Dealers, Killer Bees, Starlight Shooting Star, Black Magna Carta, Bolorama Red, Steampunk Silver version, Bolorama Green, Platinum, Nomads, Knights, White Artisans, Black Artisans, Gold Dragonback, Ignite, Tycoons, Deck 1, Black Rounders, Blue Tally-Ho, Medallions, Blue Bicycle Riderback, Steel Deck, Standard Starlight, Starlight Lunar, White Magna Carta, Fathom, Bicycle Elemental Fire, Tally-Ho, the Grid deck, and Bicycle Gold. So guys, Luke's about to show you his. Go ahead and comment below what you think of mine, and then Luke will show you his, and please tell us which one you think is better. Wah!
Okay, so let's start off with Carpe Noctem, deck one, both my, never mind, that's not my contraband. Here's the contraband medallions, here's gold, here's all my dragon backs, green, yellow, red, I think I got that right, yeah. Then my dealers, my platinum, my mints, let's grab all the mints here, black mints and red ones, red, monarchs, awesome deck, then the elemental, standard starlight, and killer bees, starlight lunar, starlight black hole, actually. And then I actually forgot to show these. I actually have the 2 standard bees and then the virtuoso.
Oh yeah, show them the verts.
Yeah, the verts is pretty sick. But I'm sure you guys have actually probably heard of this deck. It's pretty popular. Everything's custom. It's pretty amazing. Let me just show the ace of spades though. Okay, the virtuoso deck. I also have. Let's put this guy away. Designed for cardistry. That's the cardistry deck. I have the steel deck. I have this crappy deck. I have the kings, black kings, I have gold kings, my 2 knights, and my other kings, my rounders, and artifice. So I think that's it. So guys, that was all of our decks.
That was Luke's decks. And
well, combined, sure.
Yeah. So tell us below, do you like Luke's decks or my decks more? And now really quick, last of all, we're going to show you our top 5 decks. My top 5 and then Luke's top 5.
And we're combining duplicates, by the way.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so Luke, take yours out so I can show them my top 5. So guys, my top 5, I don't really have an order. These are just my top 5. I don't have like a first place. But to begin with, the Killer Bees, amazing deck right there. The Artisans, the black version, I like slightly more than the white. Then you have the Knights, the Fathom, and the Ivory Tycoons. These are my favorite 5 decks. I am stalling while Luke tries to figure out which 5 are all his. No, but these are my 5 guys. Please tell us below which deck out of the whole video was actually your favorite. We would recommend purchasing any of these because they're all crazy good decks. Any of the brands that we named, go ahead and check out their websites because they're amazing. We will try to put all the brands in the description. We'll do that.
This is not a paid promotion.
No, we were not paid to do this. But yeah, we'll put all of the different brand names in the description so you guys can check them out. But yeah, please do. These guys deserve lots of support for the cool decks that they make. So next up are Luke's top 5 decks.
Just can't say enough about the B deck favorite. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Well, it is a good deck.
It is a good deck, don't worry. Okay, so this is in no order like he said. I have the Rounders, Carpe Noctem, Deck 1, and Contrabands and Knights. Now, as J-Dog knows, my top 5 changes practically hourly.
All the time.
every time.
Yesterday, he had...
I had the mints in there yesterday.
And the verts.
And the verts, yeah. But guys, I'm a fickle person. Don't worry about me, though. I'll probably be in an insane asylum someday. But anyhow, these are my...
Just shove your body into the camera.
Okay, these are my top 5, guys. That was our deck collection. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment below, and subscribe. And with that,
guys.
And with that, I'll see you all next time.